Hi folks, I still am only doing videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, but this is an exception. And I'm doing it because something has made me a little bit angry, and I just wanted to share this with you because it is a public situation. Some news has just broken that I've just become aware of anyway, concerning the famous and celebrated Christian evangelist Ravi Zacharias, who's based in America. And it turns out that he was an evil pervert, a confirmed rapist, and spiritual abuser. This has all now been officially confirmed. Multiple sources accuse Zacharias of serious sexual misconduct, including rape. On the 9th of February this month in 2021, Miller and Martin, the law firm hired by RZIM to look into these allegations, confirmed their veracity, confirmed the truthfulness of these allegations. What an evil scumbag. Yet Christians idolize this man. Now, there's several things I want to say about this. I'm just going to quickly refer to the New York Times, which had an article this month on the 11th of February, headlined, Ravi Zacharias, influential evangelist, is accused of sexual misconduct in scathing report. The influential evangelist Ravi Zacharias, who died last spring, engaged in sexting, unwanted touching, spiritual abuse and rape, according to a report released on Thursday by the global evangelical organization he founded. After initially denying accounts of his misconduct, Ravi Zacharias' international ministries. By the way, I know from the Wikipedia page. I know from their own ministries page. If you Google this, Ravi Zacharias International Ministries, all you'll get is this report and basically a long article explaining that yes, he was guilty of all these crimes, and they apologise. But they were informed. They admit they were informed of the rapes, the sexual misconduct, the abuse, the financial irregularities years ago, about 4 years ago, it says, and they did nothing. No, they didn't do nothing. They didn't only ignore it. They protected Ravi Zacharias. They denied the allegations. They refused to listen to the women. They admit this. Multiple women bravely and publicly spoke out from their own experience at much personal cost, because it takes huge courage to do this publicly. And they were dismissed by Ravi's ministries, presumably as liars. So, it wasn't just denying accounts initially. They did it for years. They did, however, ultimately, they announced an investigation which found credible evidence, according to the New York Times, of sexual misconduct spanning many years and multiple continents. So he was raping and abusing his way around multiple continents for years. The announcement was the result of an investigation by a southeastern law firm, Miller and Martin, which RZIM, this is Ravi Zacharias International Ministries, hired themselves in October last year to investigate accounts of sexual misconduct by Mr. Zacharias. They say, we believe not only the women who made their allegations public, but also additional women who had not previously made public allegations against Ravi, but whose identities and stories were uncovered during this investigation, the ministry's board of directors said in a statement accompanying the report. And you can read this on their website. We are devastated by what the investigation has shown and are filled with sorrow for the women who were hurt by this terrible abuse. But it's not just the abuse, it's the cover-up. Because as I say, they admit they knew about this for years. You see, it's not just a case. The Christians will tell you it's a case of a rotten apple. Oh, he was a bad guy. We didn't know. Now we know. And anyway, he's dead. And now we can move on. No. It's far more serious than that. Because the structures, the organization that were in place to protect him, put in place by himself and other Christians, existed for years. And when allegations were made of a credible nature, they were not only ignored, but they were rejected as false. So in other words, these poor women were branded as liars. Not only were they raped by him, when they spoke out, they were branded as liars by leading Christians. And other periodicals like the Christianity Today and other Christian organizations failed, like Premier Christian Radio in London. They admit this. They did a video about it yesterday. They admit that they should have spoken out and they didn't. So there's systematic structural evil here that facilitated and enabled Ravi Zacharias for years to continue a campaign of rape and abuse against innocent women. This is the reality. It's not about one rotten apple, one evil rapist. Now, it's actually worse than this because there is an Islamic angle to this as well. Now, because he wasn't just an evangelist who just preached the gospel of Paul, I would say. But anyway, he also welcomed and facilitated and gave a platform to people like Nabil Qureshi, who's also died of a very rare disease a year or two ago, who I actually knew. I did my first ever public debate was with him some years ago. But Nabil was a fanatical anti-Muslim, anti-Islam evangelist who lied and lied again about the Prophet of Islam, about the Quran, about Islam itself. And Rabbi Zacharias gave him a welcome platform within his organization. He was an official spokesman, official debater, missionary, evangelist with his organization. So not only did he abuse women, but he gave a platform to haters who lied about Islam and increased hatred and hostility in the United States and globally even, because Nabil Qureshi became quite another celebrity evangelist. So on multiple fronts did Ravi Zacharias do harm to people, to women, and who were abused, who in effect called liars. He abused Muslims through Nabil Qureshi, facilitating Nabil Qureshi's ministry, and he also abused God, because God's name was abused in this. The truth about God was abused. The name of God, the one true God, was abused because in his name were these actions carried out, the lies and the rapes carried out by these leading Christians, facilitated by too many other Christian ministries and respectable people. It's just a very, very, very tragic and sorry story. What will happen, I think, is that Christians, as they have done now, they're just beginning to repent of this, but they'll see it as just a rotten apple. Oh dear, how evil he was, and we just didn't know. Well, actually, you could have known. People spoke out. People chose not to hear the voice of the oppressed, of the weak, of the victims of rape. They refused also to hear of Muslims protesting the way their religion was slandered and lied about by people like Nabil, who, as I say, that both of these individuals are now dead. So they're no longer actively harming people in the world. But it's a tragic, tragic story. And the Christian community as a whole, on both these accounts, needs to get its house in order and start practicing righteousness, not just preach it, but do it. Anyway, it got me quite angry because it's just the sanctimoniousness that came from certain quarters about things, and it just gets up everyone's nose. Anyway, that's my one-off video. Normal service will be resumed on Monday. A forthcoming video on the Blessed Virgin Mary in the Bible and the Quran. It's a fascinating subject, and I've got kind of a lot of stuff here that's not normally discussed, if at all really, on YouTube. I just wanted to share with you. Till next time.